A Dance with Destiny TikTok on trial. It's 2025, folks, and the world feels like it's running on a constant loop of viral videos and political chaos. And nowhere is that more apparent than in the case of TikTok, the app that's gone from silly dance crazes to a Supreme Court showdown. Who knew that those 15-second clips could spark a national debate about free speech, security, and the future of the internet itself? Buckle up, because this ain't your grandma's courtroom drama unless your grandma's got serious moves and a penchant for geopolitical intrigue. This isn't just about cat videos and lip-sync battles anymore. It's about whether the US government can hit the delete button on an entire platform, silencing millions of American voices in the process. It's about drawing lines in the digital sand and figuring out where our right to express ourselves bumps up against the government's duty to protect us. The stakes higher than a giraffe on stilts trying to dunk a basketball. Let's dive in, shall we? Uncle Sam's security blanket data and dragon fears. Now, the US government isn't exactly known for its chill vibes and laissez-faire attitude when it comes to, well, anything. So it's no surprise they're throwing a bit of a tizzy over TikTok. Their main beef? Data, baby, data. See, TikTok's parent company ByteDance hails from China, and that's got Uncle Sam sweating like a hog in a sauna. The government's argument boils down to this. What if China's getting all up in our digital business using TikTok to hoover up personal info on American citizens? Think credit card numbers, embarrassing search histories, the whole shebang. They're worried about this data being used for nefarious purposes, from blackmail to espionage. Basically, they're saying TikTok's like a fortune cookie with a side of potential national security threat. Now, whether these fears are justified or a tad overblown is a whole other can of digital worms. But one thing's for sure, the government's taking this seriously, and they're not afraid to whip out the big guns, or in this case, the big band, to prove it. Can't stop the signal, the First Amendment fights back. But hold your horses, Uncle Sam. This ain't a dictatorship, yet. And TikTok ain't going down without a fight. They're waving the First Amendment flag higher than a bald eagle on the 4th of July, claiming this ban is a big old violation of our freedom of speech. Think about it, TikTok's got over 170 million users in the US alone. That's a whole lot of folks using the platform to express themselves, share their art, build communities, and yes, even hawk questionable weight loss teas. Banning TikTok, they argue, is like shutting down a giant digital town square, silencing a chorus of voices that make up a huge chunk of the American online experience. And let's not forget the content creators, those brave souls who subject themselves to internet fame and fortune, or at least a steady stream of likes. For many of them, TikTok's not just a hobby, it's a livelihood. Banning the app would be like pulling the rug out from under their digitally manicured feet. It's a classic battle between security and freedom, folks, and the outcome could have major implications for the future of online expression. Gavel of judgment, the lower court weighs in. So, with all this back and forth, who's calling the shots? Well, before landing in the hallowed halls of the Supreme Court, this case went for a spin in a lower court, and let's just say things didn't exactly go TikTok's way. The judges basically said, we get it, free speech is important and all, but national security, that trumps even the catchiest dance routine. They basically gave the government the benefit of the doubt, figuring they're the ones with all the intel and whatnot. It's like your parents saying, because I said so, but with fancier robes and legal jargon. This ruling sent shockwaves through the tech world, with many wondering if this was the beginning of the end for TikTok in America. Section 5, ticking time bomb, the impending ban and its fallout. Here's the kicker, this ain't some far-off hypothetical, folks. This ban is slated to go into effect on January 19th, 2025, just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Unless TikTok somehow manages to shake off its Chinese ownership like a pair of too tight jeans, it'll be banished from US app stores and internet providers faster than you can say yeet. Imagine waking up one morning and poof, no more scrolling through endless dance videos, comedy sketches, or makeup tutorials. For millions of Americans, it would be like losing a digital limb, their daily dose of entertainment and connection gone in an instant. And for those who rely on TikTok for their income, let's just say it'd be a whole lot more stressful than trying to make a viral video about tax season. The clock is ticking and the pressure is on. Will the Supreme Court ride to the rescue, or will this be the final curtain call for TikTok in the land of the free? Section 6, legal eagles clash, lawyers in the digital age. Now, what's a good courtroom drama without a cast of legal heavy hitters? This case has got them in spades, with both sides bringing out the big guns of the legal world. You've got Noel Francisco, the former Solicitor General, repping TikTok. On the government side, none other than the current Solicitor General, Elizabeth Preloga. These legal eagles are circling the issue like hawks, each trying to outmaneuver the other with arguments that are as complex as they are consequential. It's a battle of legal titans, and the outcome could set a precedent for how the government regulates online platforms for years to come. Section 7. Red Scare 2.0 ? The bipartisan fear of China. But this ain't just some random legal spat, folks. It's got deeper roots, tapping into a vein of anxiety that's been simmering for years, the growing distrust and suspicion between the US and China. Remember the Cold War? The paranoia about communism, the fear of spies lurking around every corner? Well, some argue we're seeing a resurgence of that fear, but this time it's got a distinctly digital flavor. China's rise as a global superpower has got some folks in Washington spooked, and they see TikTok as a Trojan horse, a way for Beijing to exert its influence and undermine American values. Whether these fears are justified or overblown is a matter of debate, but one thing's for sure, they're fueling the fire under this whole TikTok debacle. Section 8. The price of silence when memes meet national security. So, what's it all mean, Basil? Is this the end of free speech as we know it? Are we all doomed to live in a world where the government can silence any platform it deems a threat? Well, it's not quite that dire yet, but this case does raise some big, hairy questions about the future of online expression. If the Supreme Court sides with the government, it could give them a green light to crack down on other platforms they deem risky, potentially limiting what we can say and do online. It's a slippery slope, folks, and one that has many worried about the erosion of our digital freedoms. On the other hand, if TikTok wins, it could set a powerful precedent, limiting the government's ability to regulate online content and protect national security in the digital age. Section 9. Beyond the Byte, a digital crossroads. So there you have it, folks. The TikTok saga in all its messy, complicated glory. It's a story about technology, free speech, national security, and the delicate balance between the two. It's a story that's still being written, and the ending is far from certain. One thing's for sure, though, this case is a sign of the times, a harbinger of the challenges and choices we face in an increasingly digital world. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because it's going to be a bumpy ride.